I've been using my Arkon Mounts overhead rig for about 2 months, give or take, and I've made a lot of videos using overhead shots, and I have a lot of experience and a lot of things to talk about. So I'm super excited to make this review for you. And by the way, this is not sponsored, but Arkon Mounts did send me this for review. I will leave an affiliate link down below in the description if you're interested in checking it out. Now let's jump right into the features. It's unique because it comes with attachments for your phone, a tablet, and your camera. It can be mirrorless or DSLR, and it can hold a lot of weight. It has two telescoping adjustable rods, so you can kind of like move your rig up and then you can move your rig across. So you can really get a lot of different angles, and then you can also articulate from one pivot point. And then if you have a ball head, you can really get a lot of different adjustments out of this. The vertical axis maxes out at 29.5 inches. When it's collapsed, it's only 18.25 inches. Subtract a little bit or add a little bit based on the depth of your desk. The horizontal axis maxes out at 27.75 inches when fully extended, and when it's collapsed, it's 19 inches. These measurements are like kind of exact, but also you have to give a little bit of wiggle room because when your mount is mounted to your desk, it could shift things up or down a little bit. So take that with like a little bit of a grain of salt when you're kind of measuring if you're looking for something super specific. The reason I wanted to get this specific rig from Arkon Mounts is because when you're not using it, you can mount it totally vertical. And the way I have my desk set up, it really makes sense because I have a lot of things going on. Like I have a camera here, I have lights here, I have the overhead mount right here, microphone here, laptop here. So there's a lot going on. And I did want to use overhead shots and didn't want to have to make adjustments every single time I'm doing that. So it's really nice because I could like vertically stack up my overhead rig when I'm not using it. And when I do want to use it, all I do is adjust the pivot arm and then slide it in, move it into position, make a small micro adjustment to line everything up and get it square, and then it's good to go. The other reason why I wanted to try the overhead rig from Arkon Mounts is because of its sturdiness. If you like feel it and you look at the construction and you feel the materials that it's made out of, it's very high quality. If you have any other tripods or any other mounts, adjustable arms, magic arms, you might notice that they are sometimes like made of flimsy material or plastic. The overhead rig from Arkon Mounts is like very well constructed and it's built to last. It can hold a lot of weight for a heavy DSLR camera. I'm using it for a phone, so it might be a little bit of overkill, but the purpose that I use this for, I also move my desk setup around, change cameras, try different things, experiment with different things. So having something that you're going to have for a long time, I think is generally worth it. One thing that I found really useful was to use something like this MagSafe magnet, and it threads into like any tripod compatible thread. I think it's like a 1/4 inch or something. And you can hook this directly onto the back of your phone, and it makes it so you can drop your phone directly onto the like overhead rig itself, and then it makes it super easy. And there's plenty of clearance, so when the magnet goes on, there's plenty of clearance for your back cameras and you really have no issues. If for some reason like some of the handles get in the way, you can move them out of the way, but you can also use like other tools that you have around to sort of like extend your camera away from the arm itself. It's up to you, but for me this has been super useful in making it easy to drop my phone on the mount and then take it off. The only con that I could think of, and maybe this is something that I did wrong when I was setting it up, is there's a small metal washer in the adjustable like handles for the telescoping components. And sometimes when I shake my desk like in a minor way, the vibrations went all the way up to the mount, and then it caused the washers to clang around and made like a tiny tinking metal sound. So what I did is I put a small piece of painter's tape on each of the washer components. It seemed to fix it. I'm not sure if that's something I did wrong, like I said, but you know, the only con I could think of. You have two major options for mounting this. You can mount it to a desk, and then within the desk setup, you actually have two configurations also. So the standard, the way it comes out of the box, you can easily mount it onto most desks. But if you have a desk that is like super thick, like over 5 inches, it does come with a couple other like mounting brackets, and you can use these to extend the actual clamp, and you can clamp this to something super thick. If you maybe are mounting this as something that is not a desk and it still has that really high level of clearance, then you're in luck because you could, you know, adjust the screws, put the extension arm in, and then you're good to go. The other option is you can mount this to a ceiling or I guess a wall too, depending on how you have things set up. So it includes all of the like hardware that you need. You do need your own mounting screws for like anchors, or depending on how you have this set up on a wall or ceiling. If it's drywall, sheetrock, plaster, concrete, you need your own anchors for that. but it does come with all the hardware that you need to actually mount them to the wall or the ceiling or really wherever else. For the last question, is it worth it? I think yes. And I think yes because it's something that you might have on your desk or around for a long time. And because it's made out of metal and it has a really like high quality level of construction, I think you can use this for a variety of different purposes and a variety of different like times and stages of your content creation, journey. So for my experience here, I'm using it for overhead shots with my phone, but you can use this for a camera on your desk or somewhere else. You can also mount this to a lot of other different surfaces that have like edges where you can clamp it onto, and you can use it for like still photography for product shots if you don't want to have to take your camera on and off and have to set up tripods. Like, you can really use this as something to pull from that you have to sort of make a lot of different setups and stages and make your own studios, and it makes things a lot easier. So like if you are into photography or video content creation or whatever, you might have tripods, you have a camera, obviously you have phones, you would have something like the overhead rig for an overhead rig, which I think is useful if you want to do any type of content creation overhead. So, I mean, the more you grow with the type of content that you make, the more it makes it worth it to have something like an overhead rig. And having something really high quality is totally worth it. So, a very long-winded way of saying, is it worth it? Yes. Anyway, thanks for watching this review. I appreciate you watching to the end if you've made it here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments, and thanks for watching.